All right. So, good evening. Thank you guys for being part of the Team Cup call. And tonight, I just kind of want to go over a few things that will help us this month. And so, if you have like some notes to take or whatever, you can feel free to do that. But like, this is super informal. Feel free to like ask questions along the way or whatever you want to do. So, I said in the first initial message that it was going to be like, we're going to talk about LuLaRoe and hair straighteners, right? Like, how crazy is that? So let me tell you where I'm going with this. I posted about LuLaRoe last night really, really late because I was scrolling and I really just needed to go to bed. And I realized how many groups that I was in for LuLaRoe. And so I posted about it last night at like 11 something p.m. And I got all these comments and all these other people that were like, yeah, me too. I get added to these groups. My intention was never, ever, ever to like bash LuLaRoe or the consultants that sell it. Never. That was not my intent. But what I figured out in the process, so I did a video this morning, same idea of just like, if you're adding me to these groups, then you probably don't know me because I'm super cheap and I'm not into clothes. Like, that's just not my thing. So the idea was, get to know your potential customers before you throw them into a group or before you just like assume things about them. And I got to start thinking about it and I'm like, we're not in Beachbody to sell shakes. We are not in this to like sell a fitness program. We're in this so that we can actually connect people with something that will help what they need, so this is the whole conversation process. And if you've been a coach for any length of time, then you get this. You have the idea of like a 5-step conversation process or, those kinds of things. If you've never done a 5-step conversation, they're in the back office under news and training. You can go in under that coach tab. But aside from that, all of this stuff with talking about other companies and how they do things, got me really, really grateful for how we do what we do is conversations, getting to know what people need and matching them up if we can. Okay, so do I believe everyone can benefit? Sure. But there are people out there that are not ready or are allergic to something in Shakeology and they just can't have it or whatever. So we need to find out what those needs are. As I found out that I was actually added into all these LuLaRoe groups because they would do free giveaways. So that's what ended up happening. And I had no idea. And I wouldn't have known if I didn't put out that video and just be like, what is going on? Because I have no idea. I thought somehow that the consultants were just like adding people. Here they would say, hey, add your 10 friends and you'll be in a drawing for free whatever. So my friends were adding me to these groups. Maybe even acquaintances were just like going through and adding me to these groups. So PSA, when we do free groups, like I do the same thing. Add your friend to this group and you can be entered into a drawing, whatever. Like, it just got me thinking. I just assume that people are actually talking to their friends and saying, hey, do you want to join this group? And then adding them. So the same thing goes when we're in the invitation process and we're like, hey, would it be okay if I send you this video that tells you more? Hey, do you have a few minutes that you could watch this? Hey, would it be okay if I add you into this information group to tell you more about the All Access Challenge Pack? Like, we really need to make sure that what we are doing is being completely respectful of other people and finding out that we're having their permission to go forward in the conversation. So what I perceived as one thing was actually something else. It was my friends adding me, but we always want to make sure that we are giving people that respect and that, making sure that they're kind of leading the conversation as in, is it okay if I blah, blah, blah? Are you interested in finding out more? Would you read this blog? Would you watch this video? Put the ball in their court. Give them some control. People do not like it when you just like throw stuff at them. They want to be involved. So that was my story about LuLaRoe. Okay. So I'm off my leggings soapbox. All right. And By the way, just so you know, I had somebody ask me if I wanted to try a free eye serum today. And I said, apparently you watched my video and saw my bags under my eyes. And she was just like, no, that's not really what I meant. She's like, but would you be interested in trying this for free? And I was like, you watched the video, you saw, I'm cheap. I am not going to just like go out and buy a ridiculous eye serum. So yeah, send me the sample. And I said, you know what? Thank you. Thank you for talking to me and like inviting me like a person. Okay, so I'm going to try out an eye serum out of the deal. All right, so moving on. Hi, Kara. So the other story I wanted to talk about was hair straightener. I promise I have a point. So I was at my sister's this weekend and she was straightening her hair. Now my sister and I are very different in many, many aspects. One is our hair. Okay, she has super, super thick, like unmanageable hair. I have really thin, no body hair. So she was straightening it and I watched her. And you know, like if you've ever straightened your hair, you pull this part back and then you start with the bottom and you straighten it and then you do a few more layers and finally you get to the top. Well, her hair is so thick that by the time she got to the top, she was rushing through it. She was just like ready to be done. And that top layer, I told her, I was like, listen, you should have used more time on the top layer that people see than on the bottom layer that people don't see. You've wasted a whole lot of time on this bottom layer when really the frizz is showing right up here. But, you know, she spent all this time on the bottom because that was the first thing to do. And then by the time she got to the most important part, she didn't have time or didn't feel like doing it or was just rushing to get through. Here's my analogy. We need to make sure that the things that we are putting the most attention to are the ones that matter most in our business. So we have, you know, our cup teams are full of 10 people that are very busy. We all have things going on, whether it's kids or school or family or work or maybe, you know, full-time jobs, part-time jobs. We are busy people. So when you are thinking about how we're going to do February and how we're going to reach these goals and how are we going to hit Success Club and beyond and how are we going to make an impact to the most people, we need to focus on the things that matter. Okay, it's not the things that's underneath. This is not like you know, going in Canva and spending an hour on a picture for a free group. Okay, this month we really need to focus on those power hour activities, those vital behaviors. So for people that are maybe new coaches and have never done this before, this is all part of new coach training, but I want to kind of cover just a few things. The most important things this month is that you are doing the 4 vital behaviors, which is product of the product. We want to be drinking our Shakeology, working out every day, being involved in the challenge group. You guys are doing that, okay? So that's like the very first thing is you need to be actually doing it on your fitness journey. That's how we share it. You got to do it first. The second one, doing your personal development. So this is key. I have absolutely loved this book. I just finished it today. If you do not have it and you hit Success Club last month, you're getting it. But if you want it for this month and you hit Success Club, I will make sure to get it out to you. It's an amazing book. It's called You Were Made for a God-Sized Dream. And it's something that I just kind of like dove into and I loved it and I couldn't get more of it. So, you know, find something that really speaks to you. It doesn't have to be a book. It could be audio. It could be the National Wake Up Call. It could be team calls, whatever, but fill your mind with something that is positive. Maybe that's your personal devotions and reading the Bible. Maybe it's a podcast with Chalene Johnson, whatever it is. Do your 10 minutes a day at minimum. It's really going to help you this month, especially. You got big goals. You got to fill yourself up more because until you fill up that cup, you cannot give out to others. It's just the way it goes. This is going to be kind of the theme for the February 20th group is the whole love me, fill your cup, fill your cup, fill your cup so you can give. Okay. So, next vital behavior, let's see, product of the product, personal development, inviting. Okay, so this is key. This is super key this month, all right? You have to have those conversations. And we've already talked about it with the whole LuLaRoe idea. You've got to have those conversations with people and find out what they need. If they don't need anything, great, then just be a friend, okay? So on the trackers, people have to ask me about trackers, and I think there are some in the Hope Nation file section, but I can get some more out to you guys too. But this is like my super, super easy, like non-professional way. I have a typed up version. I write their name. I write a note of what I've talked to them about. I write, did I invite them to something? Did they say no? Did they say yes? I mean, it's so simple, but we cannot rely on Facebook Messenger to tell us who we've talked to. And, and invites can happen through, personal posts that you've done, sharing transformation, sharing recipes, sharing whatever you're sharing, like that bingo card is, whatever you're sharing. If people like it, if people comment on it, you're going to start a conversation with them. Maybe they just had a birthday and say, happy birthday. And like, what'd you do for your birthday? Just start a conversation and then kind of go back around to, hey, I really appreciate the fact that you liked my post on XYZ. Maybe they liked my recipe post tonight for the Japanese chicken salad. Great. Then I can reach out to them and say, hey, let me know what you think when you try it. Are you interested in more recipes like this? If I, just start talking to them about what their health is and what kind of things they like to eat, and are they interested in having some accountability in the nutrition area, things like that. So it does not have to be complicated, but inviting is having conversations. It's just talking to them about where they are now, where they want to be, and if we can help them. So, and then the last one is recognition. So I'm really trying to kind of shout out our challengers and shout out the people that are just rocking it right now, because there are so many people, especially from the January group, that they killed it, right? And you guys are all in it and you're all doing it, and I'm so proud of you. So make sure that you are also taking time to recognize your challengers. And those of you coaches who maybe don't have challengers yet, recognize the other people in the challenge group. Like, make sure you're being an encourager on a regular basis. And if if all else fails and you're not challenged, or maybe you just want more people to encourage, make sure that's part of your daily thing too, that you just go to your friends' pages and encourage them. Give them a Bible verse. Send them a private message and just say, hey, I read this and I thought about you today. Be a constant encourager. Recognize the good that's in them and continue to water that, so that they say, hey, she or he really, really cares about me, And they're going to see more of your posts, and they're going to be more attracted to what you're doing and seeing if maybe that would be good for them too. So you can recognize people in a lot of different ways. They don't have to be super big transformation stories of physical transformation. It can just be recognizing your friends, family, whoever on Facebook for just the awesome things they're doing. Maybe they're about to graduate, or maybe they passed a test or whatever. It's like, make sure that you are being that encourager all the time. So those are some of the things that I wanted to cover today, is that that we don't get so focused on those things that are pretty, the things that are not going to be business building activities in this month. There may be things that just need to go on the back burner for right now. Some of the fun, fluffy things just need to go on the back burner, whether that's, revamping a whole challenge group script or something. Okay, so if we don't have to do that right now, then let's push that off. Or if you have a blog post that is just for fun, maybe we'll put it aside for right now until we get these vital behaviors done each day. We really need to work on making sure that time management is pretty tight, because I know you're busy. So don't worry about the underneath. Okay, just worry about the things that matter, that's going to move your business forward. Okay, and I am saying this just as much for me as I am for anybody else on the team, because I'm just like squirrel most of the time, and I need to kind of rein it in. I've got my weekly schedule right in front of me every single day. Doesn't mean that I'm actually following it as much as I should, but I'm working on it. So keep me accountable. All right, let me hear from you guys and what you have going on and how we can maybe help. All right. So Shannon, do you want to go first since I know you've got a timer in here?
I saw that.
Okay, yeah, so I just got a job that I didn't ask for. So I start on Thursday, and it's teaching special ed pre-K. So we'll just see how this goes. I mean, I've taught special ed for 7 years, but then I took 5 years off, and I had Levi. And I'm trying to fit in doctor's appointments with my cancer stuff that I have still to deal with. So, yeah, but I'm ready to go, and I'm kind of disappointed because I want to put more time into the coaching, but God has a plan, and like I was telling Rachel, I'm going to do the workouts at school after our kids leave, and I'm taking my Made to Crave book to school to share it with my aide, and I'm reading through it again, and I'm just praying that God just opens this door and uses this avenue as well. So
I think it's going to be awesome. I know that sometimes it seems like you're taking all this time away that you would be doing something else, but really when it's structured like that and you know you have to go to school or you have to be here or there, sometimes it makes it even a little bit easier. It's just different.
You don't have a choice. You just do it.
yeah, like 4:30 comes awfully early in the morning now.
Yeah.
It's not a choice anymore.
But if you're working out at school, then you're not going to have to worry about that part of it. You could that can be your workout for the day.
Well, I have to work out with my medicine. I have to take my medicine when I get up. So I'll have to do a double workout.
Oh, jeez.
What we do to encourage our challengers,
Well, there went that idea. All right.
You go.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe I'll drop those last couple pounds I wanted to lose.
But Shannon sold the first challenge pack of the month, as far as I can tell.
Woo, woo.
Woo! 15 points for team
We're unstoppable.
Unstoppables. That's right. Way to go, guys. That's awesome. So, Emily, tell me what's going on. And Ben.
It's kind of been a weird start of the month for me because with the campus ministry stuff, it's been really busy. So I've kind of invites and stuff have been put on the back burner a little bit. But majority of my people that I've been talking to that have been interested are either just interested in all access. So that would give no SC points, right? But it would give whatever.
Yeah, I would give SC.
No, you don't have any SC points for just all access.
Okay. I knew that.
I have a couple people who every month have been like, I'm going to sign up, and then they don't.
Yeah.
I have 2 of those again this month that have been like, I'm going to do it. And so, I don't know. But it's just been I've just kind of been doing what I can here and there between the craziness of school being back.
So do you schedule your page posts? How often are you posting on your page?
I try to post 2 to 3 times a day.
Okay, so you're posting on there quite a bit, actually. So do you ever you do share stuff to your personal wall on occasion, but do you feel like maybe this is a season where you could double dip a little more to save some time? And just
maybe
share a little more?
Yeah, and I have thought about that, but I also hardly post on my actual page, too. And so it would be pretty much just posting my page stuff on my actual page.
Well, maybe just even a couple times a week.
Yeah.
And then bring more eyeballs on your page too. You could always do because I know that's the general gist of where your fitness stuff is. Your whole journey is on that page. So maybe to bring more eyes onto it, you could do a giveaway this month. If you get it up to a certain amount of likes on your page, then you'll do a drawing for a giveaway or something. It wouldn't have to be anything super big, but maybe that would help you out a little bit, because again, when you're putting stuff out there that is related to the challenge groups and people start to like it or comment or whatever, then that gives you an automatic in to start talking to people.
Right.
So, I mean, that shouldn't be like your sole way of talking to people, but it is a good in.
Right. And I've noticed most of the people that like most of any of my stuff are people that have either said no, like a definite no, at least right now, or have already been involved.
Right. Oh gosh, I got that too. Yeah, for sure.
You have to get down, please. I don't want you to get hurt. So that's great. I have a free group going on right now.
Oh yeah, is that the 30-day one?
Yeah. I have 2 more weeks of that, and I feel like they might all sign up for not Shakeology, but sign up for all access.
Okay.
Yeah.
So talk more about Shakeology. You have 2 weeks.
Yeah. I have 2 weeks to talk about Shakeology.
And then if you were on the Surge call last night with the Dream Team, okay, I gotta post that. I need to myself a note.
Good recording. It's a really good recording.
It was awesome, and there was a whole thing in there that Katie Ursa did on Shakeology and sharing Shakeology, and even like a Shakeology bingo board kind of thing where you could different ways that you could post about Shakeology.
Right.
So I know like it was kind of sporadic the way I used to do it, and now in the last few challenge groups I've been making sure it's like Shakeology Saturday and like everything is about Shakeology. So hey, pretty girl, sorry, she's so pretty. Okay, but the more you talk about it, like planting that seeds about how you feel about it and other testimonials, like get creative with it. It doesn't have to all be like, here's the ingredient list.
Right.
Do a variety of different things about Shakeology.
I'm not good at that yet. I'm just not. It's a growth area.
Me too. All right, Kara, what do you have?
I have 3 coaches that are not coaches yet that are just like
That's awesome, Kara.
2 of them potentially will actually, I think, want to go further in helping people. One of the other ones is just wanting the discount, which is awesome.
That's awesome.
But I've realized where I'm really good at the underneath. I'm really not so good at the top, because once we get to that point where they're like, well, I'm really thinking about it, it's like then I go, and then I go a little too fast. And
so when you get a little bit of interest, then you go all in and you go crazy?
I don't go crazy, but I can tell that I go a little bit too quick.
Because you're excited.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys have seen Tommy Boy, right?
Oh, wow. It's a long time ago.
Okay, if you haven't seen Tommy Boy, go back and watch it. It's one of my favorite movies, and it's all about sales. So he's trying to sell these brake pads for his father's business. And he talks about how he goes into the different car dealership or car place, and he's like, you know, I killed my sale because I got so excited about it. And of course, Tommy Boy's like super immature and whatever, but so he has this dinner conversation about this roll, this sale, and I pet it and I love it and I love my little sale, and then all of a sudden I just go bam, you know, and I killed it. It's like I get so excited. And so, okay, if you haven't watched Tommy Boy, you got to go back and watch it. It's one of my favorite movies. But Chris, he's amazing. But we all do that. We all get excited, and maybe we move a little bit too fast. So just remember, maybe put a Post-it note of letting them lead. Okay, so asking those questions. And you're awesome at asking questions.
But on Messenger, though, I'm not. Like, well, I mean, I'll ask questions, but then it'll sit there for a while, and I'm like, they're not checking it. And then I'll maybe text them, and it just is what it is. But I really liked, like, if you guys haven't seen the Surge call, see it. There was one about you stay on the train, just stay on the train. The train that you're going on, you have to stay on to really see the results of it, because people are going to get on and they're going to get off. They're going going to think they're going to get on, but then they never get on. And then eventually they get on, like 4 stops later. And that really kind of stuck with me, of just learning that, okay, if there is a need there, they're going to continue watching. They're going to continue to try to figure out if that's what God's leading them to do, just like I did with you. So I have to be patient. But it was hard. It was hard to hear a lot of the whole, if you're just hitting Success Club, then you're not really doing, you know, if you want it to be a business, you're just doing the bare minimum, is pretty much what I heard from some of the things. So I'm like, oh.
Yeah, and I think that was Alyssa Shoemaker, who's been a top 10 coach. So, I mean,
Bam.
yeah, she don't mess around. But honestly, like that's what Katie told me. Like I asked her point blank, and I was like, "What'd you do?" And she's like, "Well, I never miss SC10, never." And I'm like, "All right, so I'm not gonna miss it." Like I don't know that, but that's me. I'm just kind of like, just tell me what to do, coach, and I'll do it. So
yeah.
I don't know. It was also, I gotta do it. I gotta make it work. That sense of urgency. There's no plan B. So like, that's kind of where Alyssa was getting, I think it was Alyssa that said it, is getting from, like, you know, if you really want to make a go out of it, then you need to push harder than the average Joe. I mean, if you want to cover Shakeology, then that's one level of work, you know, and if you want to build, you got to keep going, because people do fall off. They do.
Well, so, I had a customer who told me she gagged every time she drank Shakeology, and she's been getting it for 3 months now. I'm like, what do you?
Is she drinking it, or is she like just stockpiling it?
Well, she said, well, I've tried to drink it consecutive days, and then I just start gagging, so I stop for a little bit, and then I start again, and I'm like, but she's a cyclical dieter.
Yeah.
And she says every couple of days she'll be on it really good for 2 days, maybe 2 weeks, and then she falls off, and then she really falls off. She's like, this has been my life. And she did the same thing with me. And I'm like, this is not something I can fix with you. This is something that you're going to have to really work through.
Yeah.
To understand what's going on.
Yeah. And sometimes you got to hit a breaking point before it clicks and it becomes more long-term. But, you know, the same thing goes with that idea of baby steps. You know, we praise our kids because they got up and walked, but really what they did was they took 2 steps and fell flat on their face. They didn't actually walk. They didn't get up and walk right away. No, they took a couple steps and they fell down. They took another couple steps and they fell down. And we're like, yeah, you did it. Okay, so that's the same thing with any life change. Anything that's major in our lives is like, you're going to take a few steps and you're going to fall. So we celebrate the walking. We celebrate those steps. Even if it's not really walking, you celebrate the steps, because that's what makes them get up again. If we don't celebrate those steps, they're going to stay down. And you don't know any kid that's just like, oh man, I failed. I just fell down. I'm not going to do it again. You know, that's not how it works, because they're constantly being encouraged. Go ahead, do it again. You got this. So I know that can be like super draining to be that constant cheerleader in somebody's life. But like, just think about your relationship with your kids. You're going to constantly encourage them, because you know that that's going to make them better. You know, that's going to make them grow.
Oh, sweetie, you need to go back to bed, or you need to go see Daddy.
Hi, Mark. So maybe that's what it is for her. Maybe she is just really kind of slow to walking. You know, she gets back up, but she keeps falling, and it's okay. Eventually she's going to walk. I mean, there's no, 30-year-olds that are still crawling because they've just decided they're never going to do it.
Right. And I think I need to keep in mind that I can still encourage her. I'm not going to check in with her nearly as much, because she's no longer.
You have to be able to kind of walk at their pace. If they're not giving any more effort, then you can't waste your time. Like,
that's, yeah.
You know, you can check in as you check. And I got so many customers that I probably don't have, like, they fell off. And if you're not in the challenge groups, if you're not making an effort to be involved, I mean, you guys see I'm constantly in the groups. Every day I'm encouraging and helping other people in the groups. You're not in the groups. I don't have the time. Like I might send out an email and I might check on you because I see that you're active on Facebook, but I don't have that constant daily time to check on every single customer that may have been on Shakeology 6 months ago. I don't. So, I mean, your time is important. Okay. So it's all right if you just check on her every so often or ask her, how often do you want me to check in on you? And then set a reminder to do that.
Yeah. And I think we have 6 minutes left.
I don't know if you could see that.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Now you know I'm really cheapskate and I haven't paid for
You're fine. You're fine. I love it. I need to go to bed anyway.
I'm telling you, that's because everybody needs to go to bed. So anyway, I hope that these couple of analogies have helped a little bit. Because, you know, and I made a note to upload that surge call into Hope Nation because even if you don't have an hour and a half to listen to it, because it literally was an hour and a half, there were like, I don't know, 9 different speakers. So you won't get bored. It's not the same person.
It was awesome, but man.
It was a lot. So you can break it up, you know, when it's on a recording, you can stop and start and whatever. And take notes. Take notes because all this is information unless you actually apply it. So I know for me, I'm going to go back to that call as well and just kind of dive in with the things that are applicable to me and my business because not everything in that whole thing will be. So that's okay too. All right. You have permission to pick and choose, but you do not have permission to pick and choose your vital behaviors. So make sure that that is what we're working on. Okay. Because that's what people see. That's what makes the difference. You like that? All right. Guys, I appreciate you so much, and thank you for spending half an hour with me. And
Are we going to do this time next week as well?
For now, yeah.
Good.
I mean, I think I know it's easier for you, and some people do have like that noon lunch break, which can be helpful, but not everybody does. So same thing goes. We're going to be missing some people, and so no matter what time the call is, somebody's going to be missing. It's just the way it goes. So thankful for recordings, and I will I'll get this up and share it in our Team Cup page too. So if you guys need anything, you know how to reach me. All right.
I do want to know your goals, though.
My goals?
I mean, yes, yours, Rachel, but Emily's and Shannon's too.
See, I always think you're talking to me.
I know. Do you guys have some goals set?
My goal is to actually hit Success Club. I've never done it. That's never really been a goal before. So that is my goal, and just to not get completely overwhelmed and anxious with starting a new job and doing Team Cup and all my other life, you know.
Yeah.
So that's my goal.
You've got this. You already got SC2, so you have one All Access Challenge pack away, girlfriend. Woo-hoo.
I know. I'm hoping to get my family involved, but we'll see.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Emily?
My goal would probably be, well, it was SC10, which I've had SC8, I think, before, maybe 7. But I was supposed to be doing better than I am at this February 7th, 6th, whatever today is.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm still shooting for it, but SC5 would make me happy. But I'm still shooting for SC10.
So you kind of want to settle.
There's a little part of me, yeah.
Okay.
But I'm hoping to get through these next couple of days of crazy and then be able to really focus. Still work on stuff, but really focus. So.
You got it.
That's good.
I'm telling you, you hit SC8. You're very, first month working the business. And I realize everybody's got a hot market at that point. But still, now you have challenge packs worth 3 points.
Right.
You got this.
Right, I am, and I was telling Rachel about this. One of the hardest things for my goal in my mind is that I have gone through everybody that I have a personal connection with that I think would even slightly be interested, because I was solidly sending like 3 to 6 messages a day
Wow.
for a while. So now I'm in this like finding people I don't really know to connect with.
Oh.
Yep, that's when you keep sharing anything.
Yeah.
You got it.
And I'm wearing LuLaRoe. I just wanted you to know. I got my leggings on.
Hey, if somebody's gonna offer me a black pair for $10, I will buy them.
Dude, they're so comfortable. I have not bought any. They've been gifts, and they are amazing.
Well, then send your gifting friends my way. Maybe they'll buy me some.
There you go. Well, and mine is SC15, and at first I was going, I think I'll try SC10, but now that I'm calculating on my calendar, I'm like, as I continue, if the people who really say they're going to do it are going to do it and they do it, I'm going to go above. So it just, we'll see. We'll see what God has in store.
That's awesome.
I don't know.
Mine's 15 and John to get to Success Club too. So we'll see. I'm not letting you guys be all carrying a load on your team there. I got John over there with you guys, so we'll see how this goes.
You.
We'll see how it goes.
Go, John.
All right, guys. Have a good night. I will.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye. Say bye.
Bye.